UFC 311 is one of the most stacked cards we've seen in a while, headlined by the highly anticipated rematch between Islam Makhachev and Arman Tsarukyan. Now, if you think wrestling is boring, go watch that fight. That is probably the most high-level grappling match in UFC history, with the co-main event being Merab Dvalishvili versus Umar Nurmagomedov. The storyline behind this one is that Merab thinks Umar is getting a Dana White privilege for having to only fight only one ranked contender and immediately put into a title fight. Alright, here's my predictions for UFC 311 main card. Kevin Holland versus The Reader. I hear a lot of people saying The Reader is the next Duplessis. That is not how it works. For some weird reason, Duplessis is the champion in the middleweight division. I have no idea how that happened. But in this matchup, I think his grappling would not work against Kevin Holland. And Kevin Holland will keep it on the feet and will probably knock him out in the first round. The next fight is between Beneil Dariush versus Renato Moicano. This one is an easy fight to pick. I think Moicano will probably win by unanimous decision. Although I believe Beneil Dariush will get a lot of takedowns, he will not do much damage from them. And Moicano's elite jiu-jitsu will help him get back to his feet. And he will just outstrike him. He has better boxing, better kickboxing. He's better on the clinch. Beneil Dariush has weird striking that kind of works for him. I think he's just getting old. He got knocked out by pillow puncher Arman Tsarukyan. I think his time at the top level is finished. So yeah, Moicano by unanimous decision. Alright, the next one is one of my favorites. Yuri Prochazka versus Salty Man Hill. Over the last year, Jamal Hill has turned himself into a meme. He's talking trash to everybody. Ankalaev, Alex Pereira, Yuri, hell, even to us fans. I think his delusional will be his downfall. I think Yuri Prochazka will probably make this a war. The mistake I think Jamal Hill is doing here is thinking Yuri Prochazka has a bad chin. He doesn't have a bad chin. He's fighting Alex Pereira. That's why. And with Yuri's pressure and unpredictability and his takedowns, I think it will be too much and it will overwhelm Jamal Hill. This match is not even going to get out the second round, bro. First round knockout by Yuri Prochazka, and it's going to surprise a lot of people. But look, I kind of want Jamal Hill to win this just to see Ankalaev versus Jamal, because I'm a huge Ankalaev fan. This is why I'm excited for a UFC press conference. It's always fun trying to watch Jamal Hill be delusional. Now let's get to the co-main event of UFC 311. Now this fight is very interesting because I can see both of them winning. This is the pros and cons of each fighter. For Merab to beat Umar, he needs to push him against the cage, away from Khabib. Now, the reason why I said away from Khabib, because Khabib, either you like it or not, he's the best grappler in UFC history. And with him in the corner, he can give Umar a lot of instruction of how to get out of situations. Another advantage I think Merab has is mixing in overhand punches while faking takedowns. I think if you do that against Umar, you can get some success. Sometimes when Umar is striking, he tends to leave his chin wide open. Not a lot of people take advantage of it, maybe because of the competition. The last one is very difficult for him to do, but he needs to make it a dirty fight. He needs to be in the clinch, just doing dirty boxing like DC style, not giving Umar any space. Now for the cons, is respecting the Umar Nurmagomedov name, which is Nurmagomedov. Merab needs to believe that he has better wrestling, and if he respects Umar too much, he will be in huge trouble. Another thing that can lead to his downfall is thinking Umar is Peter Yan. We can all remember that fight when he shot like 50 takedowns and only achieved like 10. That does not work against Umar because I think Umar can catch him with a submission and with knees up the middle. With the tip kick of Umar, it's very hard for you to just come and just try to take him down whenever you want. Now for Umar, his pros are clear. Stay in distance, shoot for your own takedowns, and try not to grapple with Merab a lot, even though you are a better grappler. Now his cons, one of them is thinking Merab has no power. Basically not respecting Merab at all in terms of his striking. Even though his striking is not good, you can still get caught. Umar's defense is very lacking in terms of his boxing defense lacks a lot. And if he fights like a fighter like Sean O'Malley or Peter Yan, he'll get cracked. And I think Merab can actually do that if he does the thing I said when he faked the takedown and shoot an overhand. Yeah, that's basically how I see this matchup. And I think Umar will get the job done. I think he can knock him out. I truly believe he can knock him out if Merab doesn't watch out in his the way he fight against Sean O'Malley. If he bring that Merab, I think Umar knocks him out in probably the third round. or unanimous decision. That's most likely what's gonna happen. Probably gonna outstrike him and shoot takedowns on his own. Yeah, I go by unanimous decision. I don't think he can finish him. Maybe. We'll see. Now, the main event features Islam Makhachev versus Arman Tsarukyan. While many expect this to be a close fight, I have Islam Makhachev winning this by a dominant decision victory. Here's why I said that. In their first encounter, Islam Makhachev did not really prepare against Arman. He was a nobody back then, and it was a short notice fight. Even Islam said this in his interview. He didn't really take him that serious. Now, with years of experience, fighting fighters like Charles Oliveira, Alexander Volkanovski, Dustin Poirier, he has improved his striking into being probably the best in the UFC right now. Now, that being said, Arman Tsarukyan has a chance to win this fight. Arman can win this fight if he can make this a brawl. His last fight against Charles Oliveira, when he was striking, he was trying to do axe kick and all these kind of unnecessary techniques. I don't think that will work with Islam. I think he needs to make this a brawl. And once again, he needs to be in close quarter. Even though I know that's very dangerous, he needs to attack Islam's body. It seems like a big weakness that nobody has exploited yet. I see Volkanovski was doing it a little bit, and we see how that ended up in the 5th round when Islam was gassed. Now, I'm not saying Arman to completely abandon the takedown. He needs to do it in the later rounds, in the championship round, in the 4th round, 5th round. The reason why I say that, I think those are the times where Islam Makhachev is tired. Because let's not forget, Islam is not Khabib. With the cardio of Islam, I think it's not as good as people think. We've never seen Islam on the back, like trying to get up. I think those are the times that you take down Islam. Arman is known as having the best ground and pound in the sport right now. However, that's a tall order against Islam. I think Islam will use his striking in the first 3 rounds. And most likely, he was not even going to shoot takedown. He's just going to defend Arman. Because all of the stuff I'm saying here, I don't think Arman has the fight IQ to actually exploit this. And I can see a knockout by Islam Makhachev if he can do the same thing he did against Volkanovski, which was kicking to the body all the time, and then later on go for a head kick. Because Arman is way shorter than Islam. But yeah, ultimately, I got Islam Makhachev by unanimous decision. I believe he will mix in the takedowns. Even though I said Arman should do it, I think Islam has the best IQ in the UFC right now, and he is the most well-rounded fighter UFC has ever seen. So I think in the later rounds, like in the 4th round, 5th round, I think he was the one who's going to shoot those takedowns to tire out Arman Tsarukyan. And that's why he's going to be the greatest of all time. Tell me what you think in the comments. Do you agree with my takes? Like and subscribe, and see you later.